Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of the Hyper-Conscious Podcast. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode where we sat down and we talked about the two things. What is it?
The only two reasons why your relationships aren't working.
So we literally just did, we did 2 or 3 episodes earlier, and we just did a live mastermind, and now we're recording this episode, so we are a little bit tired, but guess what? We're going to power through because that is what we do. Today, for episode number 404, we are going to talk about the 5 most important takeaways from 400 episodes of the Hyper-Conscious Podcast.
He says with a little squeak.
No, that was an intentional squeak.
That was intentional.
Yeah, I was trying to just get it.
Folks, 400 episodes.
It's a lot of episodes.
It's a lot of time. And I know that sounds like just a number, but let's really think about that for a second. That's 400 conversations of asking and answering tough questions, contemplating distinctions, deeper understandings, tactics, strategies, emotions. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Right? It's been a hell of a journey. We've learned a lot. And as you know, if you're a long-term listener to this show, after we cross a milestone, we like to celebrate with a wrap-up of what we learned in the last 100 episodes. We did that for 200, we did that for 300, and we're doing that for 400. I actually think we did it for 100 as well.
I believe we did. Dude, 100 was like a huge milestone.
I know.
That was a huge...
That was like the biggest
400
milestone.
is... I think 500 is the next big one.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, because it's a big number.
Halfway to a thou.
Halfway to a thou. The thing is, like, not only did we do 400 episodes, and again, this isn't about us. Our goal in this is to add as much value from what we've learned in case you haven't been able to go through 400 episodes.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of this is from the last 100 or so, but not only have we done 400 episodes, we've prepped for 130 guests or something. We've had conversations before, during, and after the podcasts.
Yep.
We've had masterminds in between about what we're learning. You know, we've had... 100 episodes, hundreds of hours of personal development on our own together. Speaking, coaching.
Masterminds. Oh, and being on other shows.
A lot of other shows.
A lot
lately.
of distinctions on other shows.
There's been a lot going on lately.
Yeah.
The studio, like that happened in the last 100 episodes. A lot. So many amazing things have happened. Our goal is for you to leave this episode with 5 gigantic takeaways that could change your life today. That is our goal. And let's just do it.
Okay, so we wrote on the whiteboard the 5 most important takeaways from 400 episodes of the Hyper-Conscious Podcast. Number 1, filters, magnets, and why the law of attraction is not working for you.
What does it mean?
What does it mean? I was going to do all 5 first. Is that cool?
No.
Okay.
No, I think we do one at a time.
One at a time?
Yeah. In case the people want to dip out.
I see what you're saying. Well, number 4 is my favorite one. No.
Strong work.
It actually might be, because saying no, but we'll get to that later.
A little tease.
Filters, magnets, and why the law of attraction is not working for you. From my perspective, we heard a long, long time ago, this might have been in the hundreds, Nikki Starr, Dr. Nikki Starr. She said that the law of attraction is about filters and magnets. If you show up as your authentic self, the people who do not belong in your life will be filtered out, and the people who do belong will be magnetized to you.
Yes.
I will give you an example.
That's beautiful.
My girlfriend's younger sister has grown a ton lately, and I'm so incredibly proud of her. Shout out to you, Ella, if you're listening.
Ella.
She's been really stepping into who she is and developing some really strong, powerful, empowering beliefs. And lately, she's really leaned into being her authentic self. She just graduated college. Congratulations. And recently, I believe she was on the golf course, and she was on the driving range, and I know she wouldn't mind me telling this story. She met a woman who was also on the driving range, and she ended up having the courage to talk about a fear that she doesn't feel competent at golf to not be on the driving range, but to actually go on the course.
I feel you there.
So she was authentic in her own fears. This woman literally said, "Oh my God, I feel that same way. We have a league where we literally learn the etiquette," because Ella's fear was that she didn't know the etiquette and she didn't want to slow other people up and all that. And I totally understand that. Because she had the courage to admit that fear to a complete stranger and be her authentic self and not like pufferfish and say, "No, I know what I'm doing." Now she has the opportunity to join a league where she can learn the etiquette. And she was telling me the story, so excited. So that filtered or magnetized that opportunity to her because she had the courage to talk about it.
Dr. Nikki, the first episode is episode number 58.
Wow.
That was a long time ago. And we've done 2 since. One in person, one over the phone. It doesn't say the date on YouTube, which is a straight jeffing, but it is what it is. Yeah. Filters, magnets, and why the law of attraction isn't working for you. I always use relationships as an example. If you decided tomorrow that you wanted to be a podcaster, if you are living congruently, it's hard when I say incongruence because it sounds like incongruently. If you are living congruently with that, I believe you are far more likely to attract those type of people into your life. And if you're trying to get better, you're probably going to filter out people who don't understand what podcasting is. They don't have any interest. Again, if you're dieting, you're at the gym, you're going to attract, you're going to magnetize people who are in shape, and you're going to naturally want to filter out people who don't care about the dieting. They don't care about the fitness. Again, this doesn't make those people bad. It's nothing against them or their character. That is what's going to help you get to your goals.
What's an example in your life?
Of filters and magnets?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's an interesting thing. What have I filtered out? Jesus, man. Put me on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people, honestly, people that don't have dreams in alignment with mine. And again, it's nothing against them, but I don't necessarily feel like I'm learning that much when I'm with them. And my goal more often than not is to be learning.
Yeah.
So I think I've filtered out people, and what happens when you filter people out? You create a void to magnetize the David Meltzers, the Mark Metries, those kinds of people in.
Powerful.
Number 2, you want me to read this one?
Yeah.
Number 2, dramatic pause. Why a little pain goes a long way. We always talk about using your adversity to your advantage.
Yeah.
We've had many guests on here who have had traumatic events happen to them, painful events, life-shifting events, things that they're still dealing with to this day. Now, that's a lot of pain, but in your life, you can either run from pain or you can leverage pain for good. A little pain is not the end of the world for you, and so many people are avoiding pain, which means they're avoiding feedback, which means they're avoiding opportunities to get better. One of our goals, and we've talked about feedback, and there's reasons we do episodes on growing pains. If you're willing to go through the pain, there is pleasure on the other side. And a lot of that pleasure is you understanding that pain served you. That pain is for you. It's not against you.
So I've talked a lot about this with my clients, and we've talked about this on the mastermind, but this concept is so misunderstood in my opinion. We all have what's referred to as the pain avoidance tendency. It's a cognitive bias. If you're human like us, you have a pain avoidance tendency. The example I use is open your car window when it's freezing out. You'll notice you're going to constantly move to the right away from the window. This is just natural. But if you can become hyper-conscious of the fact that you're avoiding the feedback, you're avoiding the pain, you can choose not to. You can choose to put your head near that window because that's what you choose to do. Now, here's the benefit to that. Imagine, back when I used to drink often, I would wake up in the morning hungover, and I would say, I'm not doing that again. I'm not drinking anymore. I felt like crap. I got nothing done that day. It jeffed my whole week. I'm not going to drink again. But by the time the opportunity to drink again came, I had already forgotten how painful it was to be hungover. Instead of, there's 2 options here. You can wake up in the morning hungover and then tell yourself a story that it was worth it because you had so much fun. And you probably did. Or you can wake up in the morning hungover and focus on all the things you're not getting done. Focus on how much opportunity you left on the table. Focus on the fact that you're hurting your brain cells. You're hurting your health. You're not going to be as in shape. You're losing your six-pack. It's where you focus. It doesn't feel good to focus on the fact that you drank a lot and made a mistake. It doesn't feel good. But focusing on the fact that you made a mistake and admitting that is what will change your behavior. So you can either change your perception when you have pain, or you can change your behavior. Pain is only an indicator that you should change something. If you have a right ankle sprain and you're running a marathon and it hurts terribly, that's your body trying to say, please stop running this marathon right now. This is bad for your ankle. That's what pain is. And I think what we do is we keep telling ourselves a new story to wish away the pain or numb the pain rather than actually change our behavior.
And I mean, even at a smaller level, feedback is pain.
Yeah.
And imagine if you got a little, you're going to get the feedback along the way, or you're going to get it all at once. If you're willing to seek feedback, which a lot of time is painful, So let's use this as an example. It's when we record these episodes, it's Mondays. We try to record all of our episodes and our masterminds on Mondays because we have a lot of other stuff going on, so it just makes it easier. We literally, and I said this earlier, just recorded the mastermind.
Yeah.
The first thing we do after we get off is hop on the phone with Amy and Tiff and ask them for feedback.
Yep.
If it's painful, it's painful.
Veggies first.
Veggies first. But what happens? We always take it and we try to level up through the pain.
Yeah.
Right? A little bit of pain rather than saying like, oh, that went awesome. Every single one of these is awesome. We're amazing. We don't have to change anything. Every time we kind of change something.
Oh, yeah. What
Little
was the
feedback.
time this time?
Make sure that we're in the room a half hour early so we can make sure everything is set up.
Yeah, because we had a technical issue.
Jeffing.
Yep.
Is what
Technical
happened.
jeffing.
All right.
Speaking of jeffings,
Speaking of jeffings,
number 3.
you are jeffing if you are dealing with number 3. Your fear of sales and why it's jeffing you.
Everyone's sitting there like,
Long
did
pause.
they cut out?
Long pause.
Long pause.
So this is something that is very personal to me. This is something that I have grown through, especially in the last 100 or so episodes.
Yeah.
And this is something that held me back for a long time. I definitely had an aversion to sales because I always linked up sales is bad, sales is sleazy, sales is trying to, pull the wool over my eyes, trying to get me to buy something I don't need, used cars salesman. I had all those negative association with sales. When you're an entrepreneur and you have your own business and a large part of your business relies upon your skills in sales, we could say influence, we could say persuasion, we could say inspiration, empowerment. Right, you like that?
I do.
I remembered your things.
Strong work.
Selling with integrity is what Alan created, the Selling with Integrity program. Something like that. Yeah, it was fire. But your entire life will change if you can master sales. And everything is sales. So Alan and I decided, all right, what are the 5 most important things we can talk about here? I had to sell Alan on a couple of my ideas. Alan sold me on a couple of his ideas. That's it. That's sales. I know what Alan values, so I can sell him. Right? If you can figure out what the people around you value, you can sell them. And it's your job and it's your responsibility to use that power for good, not for bad. Just like anything else. It's a tool. You can use it for what you want. We hope that you'll use it for good.
Yeah, we use the analogy in Selling with Integrity of an axe. An axe could be used to kill someone, or it could be used to build a house, a shelter. Sales is not the problem. It's the people, it's the technician, not the technique. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And so if you're out there right now, whether you're trying to sell your son or daughter to go see a specific movie that you think would inspire them, or whether you're selling a $2,000 product, sales is not about manipulation or malintent or to make money. Sales is about alignment. Is what I'm selling, whether it's a person, place, thing, or idea, not a person, but I mean, in a way, it could be. Right? Because in a way, we're selling ourselves when we sell coaching. So yeah, person, place, thing, or idea. Nouns, person, place, thing, or idea. Is this in alignment with what's best for them? And how do I communicate effectively that this is in alignment with what's for them? I was with Kevin earlier today, and I said, I think we should do the next mastermind on peak performance. I gave a training recently that had amazing feedback. And he said, okay, sell me. And he meant that jokingly. But also, and I said, we'll go watch it. And that wasn't a good sell, right? But always, you are either being sold an idea or you are selling an idea. Be careful of who's selling you and what you're selling. And your fear of sales and why it's jeffing you. The last thing I'll say before we move on to the next one is this. Write down 2 columns. Kevin gave me this idea earlier during the mastermind. On the left column, I want you to write down every decision you've ever made that someone else convinced you of that was bad. On the right column, I want you to write down every decision someone's convinced you of that was really, really good. Look at the right column and understand, at least you'll get a bird's eye view of, oh, I've just been looking at the left column too much. I'm so focused on the pain, which is natural, by the way, rather than all the good things. My aunt convinced me to buy AirPods, one of the best decisions ever.
Game changer.
Right, game changer.
Yeah.
You just convinced me to buy the new ones because they're so good.
Moms bought them for me.
Yeah.
Shout out to moms.
Yep.
That's it. That's it.
That's it.
That's what you got.
That's fine.
One thing I want to say about sales. If you are struggling with sales, you're probably struggling with your confidence in your product. That's
Or
where
in
a lot of-
yourself.
or in yourself. If you lack confidence in life, you're probably going to lack confidence in sales. Think like it's an exchange of enthusiasm. You have to believe that if your potential client does not get your services, you are doing them a disservice. Alan and I, at the end of every single one of these episodes, talk about free things that we have.
Yeah.
Right? Are we trying to sell you? Well, we're trying to help you. That's it.
Which is what sales is.
Right.
Yeah.
It's an exchange of enthusiasm. I am so enthusiastic about podcasting. I know I can help you. I want to help you. Boom. That's it. That's what sales is. Okay.
Yeah. How many times, and this is the last thing we'll say about this. How many times have I said to you, I know I could help that person?
All the time.
Yeah, that's
So many
because I
times.
believe so much in coaching and in my ability to help others. Therefore, I'm willing to sell it. So hopefully, if you're listening, you feel that way about your own value. And if you don't, figure out why that is and then increase your own value.
Boom.
Number 4.
Less yes, more no, and how to finally put yourself first. Go ahead.
So selfish versus selfless. And I said this, I was on the peak performance training and I said this.
Selling that thing. Really selling that
I
thing.
know. Right. I said this at the very end. I said, work so hard on yourself in private that you can serve in public. Selfish is not selfish unless it's only for you. Pouring into yourself is not selfish because you are a positive influence, hopefully, in everyone else's life around you. If you get better, everyone around you gets better. This is not woo-woo. This is a fact. Like, Kevin and I from 400 episodes know this to be true. If you improve yourself, everyone around you will get better.
True.
Or you'll filter out the people that aren't willing to.
Yep.
And we already talked about that.
This is what I wanted to say about this. Number 4, your favorite.
Yeah.
Your favorite. Obligers. Right? We talked. I just forgot what I was going to say. We've talked. Oh my God. We talked many times about the 4 Tendencies by Gretchen Rubin.
Yep.
The majority of people, I think it's upwards of 70 to 80% of people are obligers. They struggle to say no. They struggle to put themselves first. If you are in that category, which, judging by our research, many of you are, right? That is a huge thing for you because what's happening is if I asked you, hey, I need help moving this weekend. Like, can you come help me? I know it's a pain in the butt, but can you come help me? You're more likely to say yes because you don't want to let me down than you are to say yes to yourself. You got to start putting yourself first, especially if you're an obliger, because your natural tendency is not to be selfish. So you're probably not going to be selfish. You're actually probably going to overpour into other people, and you're not going to feel like you were getting your stuff done.
Yeah. Here's a good example. Imagine 2 people. They're both obligers. One of them learns how to say no so that they can focus on their craft and add more value later. One of them says yes all the time to things outside of their genius zone and never feels fulfilled within themselves. The truth of the matter is every single one of us can think about a time when we were unhappy, unhealthy, unproductive, unfulfilled, and we hurt those we love. For me, when I was drinking, I was unintentionally unkind because I wasn't fulfilled within myself. Picture person A and person B. Person A is an overflowing cup of abundance. Not tired, not hungry, not lonely, like really fulfilled and overflowing with love. That person is going to be more generous, more giving, more loving.
Abundant.
The other person, abundant. The other person is scarce, tired, lonely, needy. That's what's true. I focus, and I told Kevin this before, I focus most of my willpower on saying no to the wrong things so that I can make room for the right things. The last thing I'll say is every time you say yes to someone or something, you are saying no to everything else. If you can really grasp that concept, Kevin and I have learned through 400 episodes to be way more discerning with our time. Time is the only thing you have, and you have to have standards for the persons, places, things, and ideas you surround yourself with. Saying no is the master skill of success. I am so convinced of it.
And you need solitude.
Yeah.
I don't think most people have enough time alone with their thoughts. I know for a while I didn't.
Right.
And
Same.
it's the problem is it creeps up on you. It's like one day you're fine, and the next day it's like, oh my God, I need a week by myself.
I've lost myself. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it's an interesting thing. All right, number 5. This might be my favorite. Character first. Why you matter way more than your results. So, Alan and I, and if you guys have listened for over the past 400, over the past 150, whatever, however long you've been listening, one thing that we often say is we are trying to have the best character possible. Okay, a good example of this: if you know anybody who's won the lottery, winning $1 million without $1 million mindset is going to lead to you being broke. You're being given something without the skill set to maintain that, right? That's why a lot of people that are super famous end up going crazy a little bit.
Right.
Because their character wasn't built. They just got the results. Our goal is to have the best characters that we can have. And that's how we're I understand that when it comes to friendships, this can get a little muddy. I understand when it comes to mentors, this can get a little muddy. But imagine if you valued the people in your life because of who they were, not what they had. How much different would your life be? That's kind of what we've done.
Yeah.
Right? Like Amy and Tiff, we love their characters.
Right.
Right? Taryn, I love her character.
Right.
Emilia, you love her character.
Very much.
The people in our lives share similar core beliefs and values, and we did an episode on that. It would be dropping next week, I believe, from now. It's hard when we record 5 episodes in a day. But that's the thing. If you're only and Doc Gen Fit talked about this.
Yeah.
Like, I have people that hang out with me, and they don't really pay any attention to me until they find out I have 550,000 followers on Instagram.
Right.
And those aren't the kind of people I want in my life.
Right.
And, like, she's probably had to deal with that for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, character over results. I know you had a different perspective on that.
I would say character is the foundation. If you're building a home and it's on a weak foundation, the first storm is going to crush the foundation. And I think that when the world rewards you, like let's say, again, we'll use the lottery analogy. Let's say you don't master your finances. You don't learn how to spend less and make more and invest, and you make $1 million. And then you told me about NFL athletes or NBA players and how it's part of the culture. Who was it that got $120,000 bonus check and
remember.
then the next day it was gone?
There's a documentary. The ESPN 30 for 30 has something called Broke, and it's basically like an NFL player would get like a $150,000 signing bonus, and they would spend it all the next day.
Yeah.
Like routinely, that's how the culture was.
Right. And that's not sustainable. No. It's not. Why? Because they didn't create the financial mastery to sustain the wealth.
Yeah.
Imagine two people both want to be millionaires. One of them makes it overnight without the long-term investment, and then they spend it just as fast. Whereas the other person has to scrap and learn how to dial in their behavior. I'll give a simple example. Let's say I were to throw 30 pounds on Kevin, and he had access to a gym. In 6 to 9 months, a year, he's going to have all 30 of those pounds gone. Why? Because it's not commiserate to his character. Commiserate. It's not. Whereas you could take 30 pounds off someone else. And if they don't have the skills and the discipline and the character and the knowledge and the experience that you have in fitness specifically, I could take 30 pounds off them, wave a magic wand, and it would end up back. This is why yo-yo dieting is a thing. You can crash diet for a month and lose 10 pounds. Anyone can do that, right? You can win the lottery. Anyone can do that. And I think that this is one of the most, this might actually be my favorite other than number 4. Probably even more than number 4. You could literally put you or myself, I'll just say this because I want to get vulnerable here. Earlier in my life, in my early 20s, I was extremely successful. Outwardly. And what's interesting to me is that in the world today, I got more rewarded for that than I honestly do right now. But here's what I will tell you. Number 1, I'm more fulfilled now than I ever was back then, internally. And number 2, my trajectory matters way more to me than my outward results. People can look at us and say you're not successful all they want because Kevin and I feel successful because of what we're doing in the world.
Yeah.
And you could look at our last mastermind and say, oh, they only had 16 people. Yeah, but what we're doing for those 16 people, we believe in and we feel really good about it. And at the end of the day, that is what's going to matter, and that's our character. And I think that when we focus there, I think that the rewards will be greater than they ever could be, internally and externally, eventually. And I think that's where patience comes in, and trust and faith.
Well, and that's the thing, too, is like, okay, yeah, maybe we had 15 people in our 15th week. 15 times 15 is whatever. Like, that's 200 opportunities to impact somebody, and we've had up to 30 on some of them. But this is the thing, and we gotta hammer this quick. We also talked to Doc Gen Fit about this. This is what scares me about TikTok people. People on, like, 18-year-old girls on TikToks in bathing suits bouncing up and down and dancing. Like, that's fine. But what I do realize is you're playing a short-term game, and I don't know if you know what that's actually doing to your confidence, to your expectations of yourself, and do you have the character to sustain what's going to come with that? Because it's one of those things where, like, maybe your body earned you the results. It wasn't necessarily your character. And again, that's okay. Some people are set up for success with that. Right? I don't know that everybody is, but do be careful, and I think try to make sure that you're getting the results with your character.
Yeah.
Because the results you get with your character are really the only results you can sustain.
Perception versus reality.
Yeah.
You cannot double down on luck. And at the end of the day, your character, like Kevin always says, like, it doesn't matter the car you have in the driveway, the house you're in, the bed you're in, who you're going to sleep next to. If you're not happy internally, if you're not fulfilled internally, if you don't wake up every day happy and excited, not every day, but if you aren't, generally speaking, like, again, I'll just ask Kev and then we'll go. If you are a 10 now of fulfillment, joy, happiness, I guess, what are you now? 0 to 10? 10. Okay. And what were you back when you had all the external results? 3. Okay. So just don't make the mistake where success is great. Success is great. Character's better.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are struggling to start your podcast, if you're struggling to scale your podcast, if you're not getting the results or the impact you want when you're trying to sell your products or services, I will gladly offer you a 30-minute free consultation to help you add as much value as I can. No strings attached, and that is how you sell.
If you don't feel like you're on the right trajectory in your life, in your relationship, in your health, in your wealth, let me help you create a better character, and then let me help you get clear on who you are now really, where you are now really, where you want to go, and then build a character that will actually get you there. Jim Rohn says success is finding a nice place to stay. Let's find your strengths, and then let's hone your craft and figure out who you want to be in the world. And then, take your proverbial flag and stick it there and say, this is who I am, and this is what I'm going to do for the world, and then success will be attracted to you. I do free calls as well, and that's what I want to do.
Fire. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed this. Up next, we have an in-person interview with the one and only Mark Metry. We talked all about awareness, current events, everything under the sun. One of our more fire episodes. We kind of went off script. We freestyled it. We hope you enjoyed this. We hope you will enjoy that. And we will talk to you on Sunday.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.